You are welcome to another class session on English language. And we want to continue with our discussion of the English registers. In the last class, you were taking through some concepts that are related to register, and we try to also give a glimpse on register. However, we are going to delve deeper on that in this class. At the end of this lesson, be able to identify field-related words, because that is what register is mainly about. Then list the words associated with different disciplines and write comprehensively using appropriate words for each context. You must know how to use them appropriately. Follow me as we treat the topic together. In describing the register, it refers to peculiar use of language in a certain situation or circumstance. Certain situation or certain circumstance. There are what we call language use in certain situations. Don't forget certain circumstances. And it deals with form of language according to number one, functions and varieties of activities. You have some functions, you have some activities such as sports, singing. When engaging in singing, there are certain expressions or language use peculiar to that. Religion, transportation, and so on. It could also be a form of language use according to occupations. You talk of medicine or health, the health sector, in farming, in teaching, in mining, in different sectors of the society. There are certain use of language to be in governance and so on. So the language use, form of language use according to those sections, what we call what? Register. Now let's look at some examples of language use in health sector. You may have a word like word. Note that word also has another meaning in politics, in electoral practices. Are we following? But word in health, not referring to a place where patients are being treated. In fact, patient, look at the word patient, for instance, too. A person that maybe in politics now that vote to be called what? A voter, an electorate. While the person contesting, be a contestant, a candidate, etc. So there are names that we give to people. There are names that we give to activities. There are names that we give to processes. There are names that we give to objects. There are names that we give to items. There are names that we give to places. Now, all those things, they formulate what we call register. So apart from word, patient, we have casualty, you have a nurse, you have a doctor, you have mortuary, you have x-ray, you have microscope, stethoscope, immune, you have a prescription, patient, orthopedic, epidemic, pandemic, contract, to contract disease, infection, drug or pill, you have vaccine, you have matron, you have chronic diseases, you have acute diseases, you have operation, you have ambulance, you have labor, and so on in health sector. What about the road transport sector? You have names of items like van, bus, bicycle, motorcycle, lorry, tricycle, truck, particulars, license, ring road, tire, steering, gear, hood or honk. You could have brake, you could have accelerator. So you have accelerator or throttle. You have the clutch, you have speed, you have radiator, you have belt, you have permit, you have insurance, you have driver, you have rider, you have accident, a lot of words on the road transport. All these were not just given so that you could cram the words under each of them, but I want you to take each of these words and look them up in your dictionaries for their meanings, for their pronunciations, and for other information about them, so that when time comes in your examination to use them, be able to use them appropriately. Let's look at other field apart from that. Air transport, you have air, you have book, you have stowed, you have seat, you have passport, you have airborne, you have fasten, you have cabin, you have tarmac, you have wings, flight, fuselage, you have flaps, tail, stewards, takeoff, you land, jets, jet engines, revving, first class, economy, etc. And those words will have different meanings in different settings. What about religion as a field or a process of activity? You have church, you have mosque, shrine, temple, synagogues. You see that all these ones, they are names of places that religious activities take place. You have theology, adherent, that is someone devoted to a particular religion. You have spirit, those are the non-human. You have atheist, Christian, Muslim. You can also have items like Bible, Quran. You have something like a convert, that is someone who accepts the tenet of a particular religion. You have covenant, you have cross, you have martyr, you have doctrine, superstition, hypnotize, supernatural, sacrifice, fetish, sermon, clergy, denominations, etc., as well as pertaining to religion. Make sure you take note of each religion and the specific names we give to people, practitioners, the specific names we give to items or objects, the specific names we give to places of those religious activities, different things, and some concepts that are being used in those in the field. In this class, we looked at some field, just few of them, just to give you examples of words in some fields. There are many fields you can discuss. We have law, we have governance, we have politics, we have a lot. You have agricultural science, we have farming, mining, you have fishing. The passage could be picked from any area. Even from health sector, you could not just general knowledge, it could just be on a particular area of health, maybe like childbearing, maybe like abortion, maybe like different things happening to a pregnant woman and all that. So we have looked at those words and listed the word associated with different disciplines and being exposed to using appropriate words for each context. In subsequent class session, we are going to be looking at some passages reflecting different activities and fields and how the words are being used in those fields or professions or activities. And we are going to solve the questions together as and when due in subsequent classes. Thank you, and God bless you for listening.